of confidence. I think at the best of times they were dealing in dodgy territory there, but West Ham's latest vote of confidence in regard to David Moyes is probably one which would have David Moyes incredibly worried, I would think. I say vote of confidence, actually. It's the wrong term, isn't it, really? A vote of confidence suggests that the West Ham board have all sat around and they voted, and there's been a unanimous decision to I don't know, sort of shout from the hilltops about that they're confident about David Moyes' ability. That's not really what's happened here. I think even at best a vote of confidence is more a statement of competence, not really a vote at all. What we've got here is more it's not really a statement, is it? It's more of a leak of confidence. Sounds messy, doesn't it? You don't want any of that, really. So the latest leak of confidence behind David Moyes has a lot more to do with sort of hope than sort of outright certainty and outright conviction that the manager's going to pull things around. Let me tell you what a highly sourced, highly placed West Ham board source said yesterday. It said, in reality, we hope, bad word, you know, alarm bells ring in with the word hope, aren't they? In reality, we hope things improve. I mean, just honestly, put that word into anything else. You're at your job appraisal and your boss is saying to you, okay, so do you think you're going to be able to complete this project within the next month? You say, I hope I'm going to be able to. That don't sound great, does it? In any, I'm not even going to do the relationship one. It don't sound good. Anyway, it says, in reality, we hope things improve and then decide what to do at the end of the season. It's awful. It's truly awful. Honestly, what have you got in there? You've got hope, no certainty. You've got indecision. It's all there, really packaged into one. The second part says, in the meantime, all balls and alternatives are in the air. Balls in the air, everyone. All balls and alternatives are in the air. We hope the manager can turn things around. It's hope again. This ain't good. This is not good at all. And I think, you know, just looking at it from David Moyes' point of view for a second and just try and park... I think it's over for Moyes. I really do. But let me park my own personal opinion for a second. To be told by the board at Christmas, pretty close to it, during January, that the announcement on a new contract is imminent. They were both sharing the news publicly, both David Moyes and the board. To have that out there in the public domain and then to have it leaked that actually we're going to wait until the end of the season, all we can do is hope, that's pretty bad. I wouldn't call it undermining the manager. I really wouldn't. And I'm certainly not advocating that the board rush to make a decision. I think, realistically, I'm pleased they backed out from offering him a contract now. Or January, or whenever it might have been. I think that was a stupid old thing to do. I really do. However, I think if you're David Moyes, this is only going to undermine him further. This whole thing until the end of the season, by the way, we'll decide what to do at the end of the season. I don't necessarily believe that. I do not believe they are wedded to that policy. I really don't. I do not think that, irrespective of what happens, West Ham are keeping David Moyes until the end of the season. We give you a little scenario here. So we've lost against Nottingham Forest. Forget Man United. Forget Arsenal. Just where we are in the league and we're dropping down the league. Lose to Nottingham Forest, not good. Brentford, Everton and Burnley. West Ham, it's not a case of saying West Ham need to win one of those games. And I've got to be very, very careful what I say here. Please don't take this the wrong way. A few days ago, I wrote an article basically saying, I don't think David Moyes can... David Moyes needs to win one of these next 3 games. And a few people got not annoyed with what I was saying, but they sort of assumed that messaging had come from the board. It really hadn't. It was just my look at the situation. I thought, I don't think he's got it in him. So I think here's a scenario for you. I think if we don't pick up wins against either Brentford or Everton, and would you concede that that is possible? I think then if Burnley beat us, then I think he's gone. I think there's no way. There's absolutely no way that they can keep him. So we've got all this situation which has a sort of Lucas Paquetá being the hopes. We go to that word again, the hopes. It's funny enough that I think the board are hoping David Moyes turns it around, and David Moyes is probably hoping Lucas Paquetá comes back from injury and could get the team firing again. As a lot of it is sort of hinging on hope there, isn't it, really? And I honestly don't believe. I think if it got to that situation, if David Moyes does not start winning now, the run of games afterwards does not look good. I just don't think there's any way that he could carry on until the end of the season. there's this big narrative that you often hear. Easily, it's not a narrative. It's just it's a trotted out line, which is that there's nobody better than David Moyes. Well, it depends how you look at it. There's no point replacing him before the end of the season because there's nobody better. Well, okay, if he continually loses, then what are you discounting that? Even anything that gets us to win 3 or 4 games is better, isn't it? So even if you get that new manager bounce, even if it's a caretaker manager, Mark Noble comes in or Kevin Nolan comes in, or possibly Noble might be better than Nolan because it's a fresh set of ideas. You get an uplift. The players look miserable. They've stopped fighting. They've definitely stopped fighting, and they look miserable. I'm not going to say they've stopped running. I don't think that's the case, but they've stopped fighting. Apart from Calvin Phillips, he did a bit of fighting, a bit of push. But he can't play. So I think just even a new manager bounce coming in and us winning a couple of games would be helpful. So I don't believe in the case that retaining David Moyes is better than any alternative. I don't believe that to be the case at all. But that's the line that gets trotted out, doesn't it? So I do believe it's actually open to. I think their statement is open to interpretation. It is so vague. It really is. All balls. Forget the balls. Let's just forget about balls. I think they've got their analogies mixed up. I think that's a juggling thing, maybe. But yeah, anyway, forget the balls. All alternatives are up in the air. So I think what they're saying is, badly, everything is up for consideration. We hope the manager can turn things around. Hope again. Yeah, look, let's deal with this Paquetá thing first and foremost, really. Because so much is based upon him returning. And I think even Moyes must be realising this now, which is earlier on in the season, he was saying things like, he does these tricks, but I might have to tolerate it. I think I'm getting a little bit soft by allowing these tricks. He alludes words to that effect. They're very similar, his words to that. And I look at it now, I think you're in no position to even start uttering such things. Actually, you need him. Never mind sort of damning his skill set with faint praise, you need him. For all the reasons that I've got into before about the lack of replacement. Just imagine having a tactical scenario that involves having a number 10, a creative player, and then not having a backup one. It's absolutely crazy anyway. So for all those reasons, I think you're sort of looking at it, and David Moyes has found himself in this pickle. And I don't think it's great at all. So, I think the statement's pretty shoddy, actually, from the board. Listen, before I carry on, can I please point you in the direction of match bingo? People are winning at this, by the way. You lot are winning at this. Quite a number of you have won on this now, so it's really good. It validates our reasoning for promoting this app. The next game is free. It's the West Ham Brentford game. The link's in the description below. Download the app. It's a bingo card. So you'll be watching for the game. You'll be looking for throw-ins. You'll be looking for corners. You'll be looking for goals on either team. Everything, hitting the post. Everything is up for grabs. They present you with a bingo card. This week, Brentford West Ham is free. That is the free game. So download the app. It's got to be 18 and above to play it because it is a gambling app. But even if you want to go and do a bingo card on one of the other Premier League games, then that's a maximum of £2 stake to do that. So you can't run up vast debts on this app. They've been really, really great to work for. Go and check it out. Please use the link below. We've had, I think in the last 2 weeks, we've had 4 winners from you lot. They've been in the comments, and they've been saying it on YouTube Live. Honestly, it's been absolutely brilliant. We're delighted that some of you are winning money. Me and Gio haven't won any money yet. Charlie will be doing his live bingo card in the watch along on Monday. So that's something. Just get involved. Won't cost you a penny. Go and check it out, and you please use the link below. There's a QR code somewhere. I'll pop it up. They'll know you've come from Hammer's Chat. Look, there's a lot going on at the moment. I think it's an awful lot probably for David Moyes to deal with. And I do wonder why he's left himself in such a position where he has just so little tools to work with. It's weird. It's like, honestly, it's like a tradesman going to work and he's just not taking his toolkit with him. He's got a screwdriver, he's got a spanner, and that's about it. And that's what David Moyes has done. Imagine getting yourself in a situation where, because I believe David Moyes wants to stay at West Ham. I believe he wants to. I believe that, again, apart from what I think about it, I think his project is done. I don't want to see the next incarnation of David Moyes' projects. But I think if you were to ask David Moyes, because he thinks of projects in long term, and he does, we know this from Everton, I would think he would probably consider he's halfway through his project, right? You don't have to agree with that. All you have to do is think that he believes it. And I think he does. Then he wants that new contract. He really does. Imagine wanting a new deal and then not allowing yourself the necessary tools to be able to do the job. I think it's absolutely crazy. And I do think he's going to feel reasonably undermined at the moment. Even if the board are not undermining him publicly. Imagine this. Imagine you are in negotiations for an extended contract with your employer. Probably involves a pay rise. And you're regularly having meetings with them, and you are being told this is going to be signed imminently. And then it just stops. You're no longer called in for the meetings. Obviously, we do normal jobs. We don't have agents, right? But you know, in his terms, his agent has stopped getting the phone calls. The wages have stopped being discussed. Probably, highly likely, he's not involved in next season's transfer planning. You wouldn't have to be a genius to know that there's a certain amount of nervousness between the board and between the manager. And by the way, a large amount of their correspondence, I'm talking about manager and senior board members, is done by email. That just dries up. A lot of that stuff, it just doesn't happen. Because obviously the board are thinking, we don't know what to do here. And they don't know what to do. I think that's fair to say. The board are completely indecisive. We don't know what to do. We did the video the other day about things being decided by committee. But even before that committee happens, I guess your head honcho, David Sullivan's got to decide before he takes it to committee and takes it to a board vote. He's got to decide what he wants to do. At the moment, he's kicking a can down the road. David Moyes probably thinking, where's my email? Where's the next round of negotiations? What about his contract that we were told would be signed in January? It's not even now. It's like the end of February, isn't it? It's getting towards that. I don't know. I don't think it's good for him. So he must be suffering from not a lack of confidence in his own ability, but a lack of confidence that offer is coming. And don't forget, he's been here before. Not only has David Moyes been here before, he's been here before with exactly the same protagonists. There was a point during his first stint where it was really clear that he was going to save West Ham from relegation, which was his remit. He had a £2 million bonus, save West Ham from relegation. We were safe with games to go, didn't take it down to the last game. So it was quite clear, it was quite evident that West Ham were going to be safe. He did what he was mandated to do. So it was just a case of over to you, Mr. Chairman. And he didn't do it, Sullivan. So David Moyes knows exactly what Sullivan's like when Sullivan goes quiet. And I'd imagine that's what's happening here. And it's not great. If that's what's happening, that all that's happening is the board are hoping, they're just hoping that things improve. Okay. But that becomes more and more diluted with every game. Brentford is absolutely huge.